her male friendships are hurting your relationship. What do you do? So I got this question from a viewer who says his girlfriend and her relationships with her male friends are harming their relationship. And he's not sure if it's a little bit because of his jealousy or if it's something else. So he's not sure if he should just like address it and tell her to cut it off and don't have contact with these guys anymore, or maybe it's a particular guy, or if he should just pretend that it doesn't bother him and just completely ignore it. So I'm sure some of you have been in a similar situation at some point and are wondering, what the heck do you do when her male friendships are harming your relationship? So stick with me because I'm going to answer both of these questions about jealousy and not caring and ignoring it. Whether you've been dating for a while or in a relationship for a while, or you just started dating. So let's look at what to do if her male friendships are harming your relationship. If you're new to my channel, my name is Anna Jorgensen. Welcome to Just the Tip Tuesday. And by the way, if you want me to answer a question that you have, then write a short comment in the comment section of my newest video, which is the most likely place that I will see it. So first, let's look at jealousy in relationships. It might surprise you to learn that a little bit of jealousy is actually healthy. Yep, I said it. A little bit of jealousy is actually healthy. Jealousy helps you know what's important to you, what matters to you. And if you're never jealous, or you tell yourself you're never jealous, then either you're really, really secure with yourself, or you might be deceiving yourself, and or maybe it is true that you are completely confident in yourself and you're not worried about it. But what happens, or what can happen, is that you end up taking her for granted. And if that's the case, stick with me because I have a solution for you. But if your jealousy is a problem and it comes from deep-seated insecurity, then it's going to sabotage your relationships. Is this something you might be able to relate to? If so, write it in the comments. There's probably a lot of you who can relate. But there's a fine balance when it comes to jealousy in romantic relationships. Healthy jealousy is a good barometer that helps keep you on your toes to not take her for granted. Because, as I've said in some of my other videos, hypergamy, it's not about women necessarily leveling up, but sometimes they're leveling across because you've let your warranty run out. So if your girl is starting to connect with her male friends in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, then it might be because they're providing what you used to provide in the beginning. So just something to think about. And yes, I hear what you're saying, but Anna, doesn't she have to make an effort too? Of course she has to make an effort too. Relationships require effort from both sides forever after. Key point, if you don't want to make an effort in your relationship or in a relationship with a woman, then eventually you probably are going to end up breaking up, or she's going to end up cheating and leaving you, or just leaving you. And you're either going to have to make effort again with someone else or stay single. So if you actually want to be in a relationship, you're going to have to make effort, either with the girl you got or with the next girl you want to try and get. So you might as well make a concerted effort, just like she has to, throughout the relationship. Think of it as a hedge against long-term relationship inflation. You're putting love into the piggy bank for when you need it later. Okay, now let's look at opposite sex relationships. And then I'll share with you what to do if her male friendships are harming your relationship. So first of all, I'm kind of curious. What do you think? Do you think men and women can really be friends? Let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, male friendships. There are so many different kinds of male friendships that you may have to take a little bit of a look at each one individually. However, there are 3 threat detecting questions you want to ask yourself. 1, is this person really a threat? 2, is my jealousy warranted? And 3, maybe even the most important, do our values match? More on all of these in just a minute. Okay, As I'm sure many of you have already written in the comments, you will probably agree that threat detection, if he is straight, there is an 80% chance, maybe higher, that he has at least thought about boinking her, or already has boinked her in the past, or might want to in the future. That's just a reality, which is why it is completely normal to feel a little bit jealous, especially if she's spending a little bit too much time chatting with Chad. And obviously, if he's 100% gay, you probably don't have to worry about it. But I say, even if he's 1% bi, you still have to keep an eye out. Because whether they met in elementary school or just met at work, if he's straight, there's a good chance he'd bone your ladybird if given a free pass. Now, some of you are thinking, but Anna, shouldn't I trust my girlfriend? And I say, lead thee not into temptation. Okay, now let's turn the spotlight around on you, your jealousy. Now, as I've mentioned, some jealousy is healthy, but if your insecurity is making you feel so unworthy that your jealousy is interfering in the relationship, then it might be you that is sabotaging the relationship, and possibly even, you're not gonna like this, but know it's meant with love, and for those of you who know that you're in this situation, it might help you. Okay, but if it is you, you might be driving her into the arms of another man. I know, you don't like that one. Don't dislike the video because of this truthful information. Now, that might not be you. She might not be a worthy woman, but in that case, you also want to ask yourself what you're doing with a woman who's not worthy of the love you want to give. So, ask yourself, if you are jealous of her success because she might leave you, or her female friendships or time spent with family because they might turn her against you, then yes, your insecurities are likely at least part of the problem. In which case, it might be less about how her male friendships are hurting your relationship and how your insecurities are hurting your relationship. Now stick with me, got a solution for you coming up. But in the meantime, have you ever been the one that was too jealous? Let me know in the comments. You're not alone. You'll see by reading the comments, you are not alone. Also, please read the comments. I have a lot of wise and experienced viewers who are very generous in sharing their experience and wisdom in the comments and helping others. So I invite you to share your stories, to ask questions. If you have some difficulties that you're struggling with right now, write it in the comments and I'll try to get to it. I try to answer as many comments as I can. And if not, sometimes somebody else with a lot more experience in life will also help you. So thank you, viewers. Thank you, Wingmam, tribe, family, for helping each other in the comments. And try to keep it positive and non-judgmental. Thank you. Okay, so if the person isn't really a threat, and I'm going to give you some examples in a minute here, and it's not really your jealousy, then what it could be is number 3, that your values don't match. As I've said in many videos, you need to have compatible beliefs, values, and long-term goals to be able to even have the foundation for a successful, happy relationship. And attraction and chemistry does not equal compatibility. Some of you know that already. Key point. If you choose someone with incompatible values and beliefs, even if they agree to behave the way you want them to, if an opportunity shows up, presents itself, they won't necessarily automatically think about what your needs are. They'll go what their value system allows them to do. And it might not be what you want them to do, which means you might not be able to trust them when life tests them on that particular value. And key point, it might be her insecurities that are causing her to act inappropriately, even if her values do match yours. But if her values don't match yours, people make mistakes in life all the time. You're going to make mistakes. Life is going to test you no matter what. And people do make mistakes. It's normal. But if she doesn't think she's making a mistake based on her value system, then her conscience might not prevent her from making what you think is a mistake. Story time. I once dated a guy who said all men cheat if given the opportunity and if they don't think they'll get caught. Now, my value system says that's not true. However, I acknowledge probably all, or at least most men, might think of cheating if given the opportunity, but they, based on their own value system, would resist the temptation or not lead themselves into temptation. Therefore, my values didn't match with his values, and I said I would rather be with someone who's as disillusioned as I am than someone like you who automatically is giving himself a free pass if given the opportunity. Values don't match. And he did take that free pass. I can laugh now, but there's a good example. He took the free pass, I found out later, because it matched his value system. Now, at some point in a long-term relationship, your values are going to be challenged. You are going to be tempted, and you might be in a difficult situation in your relationship. There will be temptation at some point. And it's what you do with the temptation that determines your value system. So you have to make sure that the woman you're with, or if you're a lady watching this, that the guy you're with has a value system that's in alignment with your own. I had a friend. Well, I have friends. I still have friends. All my male friends are gay now because no threat. So anyways, I had a friend who, once he met his future wife-to-be, stopped hanging out with women, single, straight women, alone. That was his rule for himself. And he said to me, it's not that I don't trust myself, it's that I respect my woman. Wow, that's impressive. Okay, now you've come with me this far, so let's answer the viewer's question. Does he be straightforward and tell her to cut it off? Or does he try to act like he doesn't care about guys contacting her? Standards, expectations, and boundaries. And then I'll provide some guidelines for what safe male friendships look like. We all have standards and expectations, even if we're not consciously aware of it. You can tell what your standards are by how you allow others to treat you. I'll say that again. You can tell what your standards are by what you allow other people to do to you, how you allow others to treat you. And you can tell what your expectations are when you feel disappointed by somebody. When someone does something that upsets you, that's a tap on the shoulder that your standards, boundaries, and expectations have been violated. And boundaries set the stage for change when you feel like your standards and expectations have been disrespected. Key point, whether or not you're able to set boundaries and follow through on consequences determines how much you respect yourself. And setting boundaries in a respectful way is actually a kind thing to do. Wait, what? That's right. How are people supposed to know how to treat you if you do not teach them? Because then you know if they can't or won't acquiesce your request, then either they don't respect you, red flag, or they have incompatible values, red flag, even if your request is due to insecurities. However, if your request is due to unhealthy insecurities, you owe it to yourself more than anyone to deal with what causes that. Again, my Wake Up to Love program will help you with that. And if you need extra help, then you should definitely check into counseling. And I'll put a link for that as well. Okay, thank you for sticking with me through this very long video. Now I will reveal the green flags for male friendships or male relationships. So when is it okay for your girl, for your woman, to have a male friendship? These are my standards. You can modify or adjust to whatever you feel that works for you. But this is what I think will keep your relationship the safest. If the two of them go for lunch or coffee in a public setting, fairly green flag. 2, he's never indicated a romantic or sexual interest in her, to her or anyone. 3, you are welcome to join them anytime. 4, if he's got a partner, she's welcome to join anytime. 5, you know. She tells him what a great guy you are. She doesn't share her grievances about you with him. Now that one you're not going to know, but the more of these, the better. In fact, I would suggest you should have all 5. So whether to address it directly or to ignore it, I believe he should address it directly as soon as possible. If you have an issue with something, you should address it as soon as possible after assessing your own insecurities and values. Question: have your insecurities ever become an issue in a relationship? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video if you think it might help someone. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for being here. Yes, thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for being here, and God bless.